Oh my goodness, you guys. Ray is coming back. Ray is finally coming back. When is Ray coming back?
Whoa!
So this damn Ray Skywalker trilogy or new movie or whatever the heck they're trying to do with it now, they've been talking about it for years. They've just been like shuffling the deck of cards with how many writers they've had and people who have left, not been fired, or at least that's not the words that they're using. People who have left the production. They still promise it's going to come out though. Ray has beaten cancer. Not Ray. Daisy Ridley has beaten whatever illness. She's on the mend. She's doing good. She's locked in. She's ready to do it. No, where's the dadgum script? Well, they still don't have one because the Star Wars movie hires their third writer as Kathy Kennedy struggles to deliver on the lofty promises. Oh, boo hoo. Go get me a cup of coffee. The Daisy really led Star Wars movie. It's not Star Wars. Let's get that straight. Let's knock that and let's nip that in the butter right now. It's not a Star Wars movie. But they have officially tapped their third writer, George Nolfi, in what seems like another chapter in the ongoing saga of delays and turbulence under Kathleen's leadership at Lucasfilm. It's hard to call it leadership when all you do is fail. Like a freaking lemming. Anybody who still not pays attention to this stuff, but anybody who still loves that or is even hopeful for anything that's going to come out underneath her reign or Dave Filoni or Dave Filoni's dog. But according to the Hollywood Reporter, this latest change signals continued faith. It's not continued faith. You've sunk so much time and energy into it already that you kind of can't just blackball it at this point. I'm sure, I mean, with the promotions and things that have been announced, I'm pretty sure that they've kept a little like nest egg to dump into this, and they want to try to prove the fans wrong because Kathleen Kennedy will only retire when she gets a win. And how does she want to get a win? By the force being female. Now, this movie, the Ray movie, announced nearly 2 years ago with great fanfare and a lot of shaved heads for some reason with people who are biologically women. The so-called New Jedi Order movie is supposed to see her reprise her role 15 years after the events of somehow Palpatine returned. The story will reportedly position Rey as a mentor to a new generation of Jedi, though details beyond this basic premise remain scarce. You know, the only way that Rey can mentor new Jedi is if they're all female. All you have to do is bleed once a month, and boom, you're in. You have the power. You got the power. You got the power. Now, the project was initially spearheaded by Damon Lindelof of Lost. Thank goodness. And I think the reason why he didn't go on with it because obviously Lost was produced by J.J. Abrams and Justin Britt Gibson, and they parted ways shortly after Charmin Obaid Chinoy, who has her own laundry list of issues with working with people, was announced, and she was brought on board. Notice that person hasn't left because the force is female. Stephen Knight of Peaky Blinders, an absolutely great TV show, took over the script, but then by the end of last year, he left again. I wonder why. What we do know is that it won't be from allegations. Just going to leave that there for you, not say any more on it. Now it's George Nolfi, whose credits include The Bourne Ultimatum and The Adjustment Bureau, and he stepped in to salvage the script. Salvage it, or is he going to have to start completely over from scratch? Now, just this is a little aside that I have to do. So, if he has to make the entire story and plot line for him, and if the outline is already made for him, those are two completely different things. If he has to follow a specific outline that has already been deemed as this is what we're going with for the film, his script writing should only take about 2 months to have at least a spec script. Basic rule of thumb, 10 pages a day. Obviously, you're going to be editing and revising, and you should edit and revise each day before you start another 10 pages. But if you're getting paid to do that, that's basically what you want to shoot for. That's the mean average goal. Now, if he has to come up with an entirely new story full of McDonald's McMuffins and English MacGuffins and all kinds of other stuff that has to make sense, it's Disney Star Wars. We know it's not going to make sense. It's going to completely break canon, as if there even was any canon anymore, except for the Lucasfilms and the expanded universe. Don't let me leave those out. But if he has to make an entirely new concept from scratch, now this is where length of time before that script is ever like not even have to be fully ready. It's going to take a lot longer for that to come out. Also, is he writing a spec script or is he writing a shooting script? Because shooting scripts are way more in detail, going over shots. That should be something that the directors and the producers do, not the screenwriter themselves. However, it has been known that they all kind of like twiddle their fingers together. They all mesh whenever it comes to the shooting script. So this shuffle of creative talent combined with lack of concrete updates on production has left many wondering whether this project will ever make it to theaters. It okay, maybe not theaters. It will be made, but whether or not it gets a cinematic release, although we've seen what they did with Mufasa, Disney still has strings to pull. If they want it in theaters, it will go there. Whether it's destined to fail, I think it is anyway, but they're still going to roll out all the stops. They'll put it in the freaking IMAX theaters. They'll buy out all the screens if they have to. Hashtag Marvel, Captain Marvel. So, adding fuel to the fire, Kathy's reputation for announcing ambitious Star Wars projects without delivering has drawn scrutiny. Who cares? Who cares about the announcements? Everything that she has produced has been dog shit dog water. Yeah, I'm not even going to stay longer on that. And the director, Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy, is making her big budget narrative feature debut with this project transitioning from her background as a documentary filmmaker. I'm not going to take that cheap joke either. Known for her feminist ideals, and there it is, the Force is feminist. She has previously made headlines for her comments about making men uncomfortable and prioritizing Rey's identity as a female Jedi over simply being a Jedi, because that's what these people do. Well, guess what? You know how I said they're still going to pull the strings? They will still do this because they are so dead set that, they have to make it happen. But this is probably why you actually had some good writers in there and they have all either been kicked off or left the project because I would assume, this is all assumption, that they want to make a good Star Wars film or just a good film. Yet they're being told they have to force this basically propaganda at this point into it. It's like, yeah, why do people care about that if it's supposed to be for the fans, for the normal audience, just a normal movie watcher? Why do we have to make sure that we have these little corporate things where no, you don't call it this anymore, you have to use a specific lexicon of words that we have deemed worthy? That's probably why they left. They weren't actually able to exercise their creativity. And while these delays have pushed back any potential production, well, like we just said, and I tried to give you a little bit more behind the scenes on how this kind of stuff works. If he has to make up the story from scratch, plot, outline, all that kind of stuff, we're probably looking about 8 months to a year before anything is finalized. If he's just doctoring a script with a preconceived outline that's already there, 2 months tops, we should be hearing something. I am assuming they have at least a lot of casting options in mind, but however, we don't know any of that. But while this thing is floundering in the watering and flapping like Lizzo on the beach, Sean Levy's untitled Star Wars film reportedly, well, we did a video about this with Ryan Gosling being in talks with him. Now they're entering production with that movie, and Mandalorian Grogu is coming out in the middle of next year, May 2026. Yeah, that's what it's slated for. Will it get delayed? I think it's already shot, so I have a strong doubt that will ever get delayed. But so that one at least going to be seen. They are moving forward with other projects because they have other names attached. People have worked on the scripts. Things are looking like they're raring to go, except for Rey. She's not raring to go anywhere except the bathroom. Now I'm personally done talking about this for now, because as of right now, all we got is like, oh, we've got another name attached to this. We got more money that we spent out there trying to get a writer for something where the premise itself is not going to interest anybody. The actress herself does not interest anybody. The entire storyline of Rey does not interest anybody. She is not a Palpatine. She's not a Skywalker. She's no one. And that's where it should have stayed. from the get go. But what do you guys think about it? This is Multi from the GCA. We will see y'all later. Please like and share that video. Y'all take care. Bye. Bye, bitch.